Some photographs do more than capture a moment. They carry weight. They remember what we've forgotten. Before California became an idea sold to the world, before it was speed, glamour, ambition, and endless reinvention, it was quieter, slower, more human. In old photographs, California doesn't perform. It waits. A dirt road where a freeway now roars. A wooden pier where glass towers cast shadows. A coastline untouched by crowds, pollution, or memory. These images don't ask us to admire them. They ask us to feel. Because when then stands beside now, California doesn't just change, it reveals itself. This is not a story about progress alone. It is a story about time, loss, survival, and longing. This is California. As it was, and as it became. Long before postcards and movies, California existed at the edge of uncertainty. Early photographs from the mid-1800s show a land still deciding what it wants to be. Settlements appear temporary, as if built with hesitation. Buildings are wooden, narrow, vulnerable. Streets are unpaved, uneven, and quiet. San Francisco, in its infancy, feels more like a camp than a city. Ships crowd the harbor, some abandoned by gold seekers who never returned. These vessels are later repurposed into jails, hotels, and warehouses, frozen permanently in the mud. The city grows upward not out of confidence but necessity. Sacramento's early images show flood-prone streets and raised sidewalks. Los Angeles appears more ranch than metropolis, vast open land interrupted by adobe structures and orchards. Palm trees are rare, not yet symbolic. They grow naturally, not decoratively. The land dominates the photographs. People are small within it. Mining towns rise suddenly and disappear just as fast. Then and now images of these locations are haunting. Bustling streets replaced by empty foundations, nature quietly reclaiming what ambition abandoned. Railroads change everything. Steel tracks cut across mountains, deserts, and valleys. In photographs, locomotives appear powerful and intrusive, symbols of connection and disruption. Towns form beside stations. Entire communities exist because a train once stopped there. Then comes Yosemite. Early photographs of Yosemite Valley are almost spiritual. No fences, no viewing platforms, no crowds, just granite cliffs, waterfalls, and silence. These images don't sell tourism, they document awe. California is still wild, still dominant, still unconvinced by human ambition. And then in 1906, the ground moves. The San Francisco earthquake fractures the city violently. Photographs taken afterward are stark and devastating. Entire blocks collapse. Fires consume neighborhoods. Smoke fills the sky. Yet among the destruction, people pose for the camera, calm, resolved, unbroken. California learns something in that moment. Destruction does not end the story. It accelerates it. By the 1910s, California no longer looks unsure. It looks prepared. The tone of photographs begins to shift. Streets widen, buildings rise taller, electric streetcars appear, cars replace horses. California starts to move faster and the camera struggles to keep up. Los Angeles grows outward instead of upward. Its photographs reveal endless space, low buildings, wide boulevards, sunlight everywhere. This sprawl feels intentional, almost optimistic. Hollywood appears quietly. Early studio lots are simple, functional structures. Nothing glamorous, nothing permanent. But the images hint at something new, controlled reality, staged dreams, manufactured myths. The Hollywood sign appears on a hillside, unfinished, reading Hollywoodland. It is an advertisement, not a legend. No one yet realizes it will become one of the most photographed landmarks in history. Beaches transform from workspaces into leisure spaces. Santa Monica and Venice show wooden boardwalks filling with people. Bathing suits become more relaxed. The ocean stops being something to fear and starts becoming something to enjoy. California photographs now include laughter. The Great Depression exposes California's contradictions. One set of photographs shows prosperity, sunny boulevards, movie premieres, palm-lined streets. Another set shows hardship, Dust Bowl migrants sleeping beside broken cars, families living in tents, eyes filled with exhaustion and fragile hope. Then and now comparisons of these locations are emotional. Empty fields become suburbs, temporary camps become neighborhoods, suffering is buried beneath progress. California becomes a refuge. And a test. People arrive believing the land will save them. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. World War II reshapes California faster than any gold rush ever could. Shipyards dominate the coast. Aircraft factories stretch across Southern California. Entire cities grow around war production. Women enter industrial jobs in massive numbers. Photographs from this era show urgency, discipline, and unity. California becomes essential, not just symbolic. When the war ends, the cameras capture something new. Confidence. Post-war California photographs feel optimistic to the point of innocence. Suburbs expand endlessly. Rows of identical houses stretch toward the horizon. Lawns are green. Cars are polished. Families pose proudly in front of freshly built homes. Freeways appear. Then and now comparisons of these routes are among the most shocking. Quiet neighborhoods, farms, and small streets vanish beneath rivers of concrete. The automobile reshapes daily life, geography, and memory. Disneyland opens. Early images show clean pathways, modest crowds, families dressed formally. The park feels intimate, controlled, hopeful, a physical promise that the future will be safe and joyful. California believes in itself completely. By the early 1960s, California stands at a strange crossroads. The photographs still glow with sunlight, palm trees, and promise, but something beneath the surface has shifted. The confidence of the 1950s no longer feels complete. The camera begins to notice tension. Then and now images from this period reveal the first cracks in the California dream. Downtown Los Angeles appears busy but strained. Freeways multiply, wrapping the city in concrete veins. What once looked futuristic now looks overwhelming. Neighborhoods are cut apart, communities divided by lanes of traffic that never sleep. San Francisco's photographs change dramatically. In the early 60s, the city becomes a focal point of counterculture. Haight-Ashbury fills the frame with young faces, long hair, bright clothing, and restless energy. Old Victorian houses, once symbols of stability, become backdrops for rebellion. These homes still stand today, restored and expensive, but the spirit captured in those photographs cannot be recreated. Then and now comparisons are striking. Where crowds once gathered to protest war, modern tourists now take photos. Where music spilled freely onto sidewalks, silence and regulation have returned. The buildings remain, but the moment is gone. California learns a painful truth here. Places can survive without their soul intact. Los Angeles reflects a different struggle. Photographs from Watts, East LA, and South Central show rising tension. Civil rights marches, police confrontations, and community gatherings fill the streets. These images are not glamorous. They are raw, uncomfortable, necessary. Then and now comparisons of these neighborhoods show physical improvement in some areas, neglect in others. Progress exists, but unevenly. California's promise reveals conditions. The beaches remain beautiful, but no longer innocent. Venice Beach photographs from the late 60s and 70s show artists, performers, bodybuilders, and drifters sharing the same narrow strip of land. It is chaotic, creative, unpredictable. Today's Venice is polished, expensive, controlled. The boardwalk survives, but the balance has shifted. In then and now photos, the ocean looks the same. The people do not. By the late 1960s, the camera captures something new in California photographs: haze. Smog settles over Los Angeles like a veil. Downtown skylines fade into gray. Mountains disappear behind pollution. Then and now comparisons reveal dramatic environmental change, some improvement, some damage permanent. Freeways multiply again. Aerial photographs from the 1970s are almost shocking. Interchanges sprawl like concrete organisms, consuming space once occupied by homes, farms, and wetlands. The convenience comes at a cost rarely shown in postcards. California expands outward relentlessly. Orange groves vanish beneath subdivisions. Dairy farms disappear under shopping malls. Then and now images of the Central Valley reveal canals, highways, and industrial agriculture replacing open land. The dream keeps growing. So does the distance between people and place. While cities expand, nature quietly responds. Photographs of the Sierra Nevada show increasing development: cabins, ski resorts, access roads. Yosemite appears more crowded in every decade. Early solitude is replaced by parking lots and guardrails. Coastlines change. Big Sur remains dramatic, but roads carve through cliffs. Malibu fills with homes perched dangerously above the ocean. Then and now images reveal erosion, landslides, and shrinking beaches. California's beauty remains undeniable, but now it is negotiated. By the 1970s, California photographs lose their shine. Gas lines stretch down streets during the energy crisis. Downtown areas hollow out. Some movie palaces close, their marquees dark. Drive-in theaters, once symbols of freedom and youth, begin to disappear. Then and now comparisons of these spaces are deeply emotional. A thriving drive-in becomes a shopping center. A grand theater becomes a parking garage. A bustling downtown becomes an empty shell. And yet creativity does not die. It moves. Surf culture evolves. Skateboarding explodes across drained pools and empty streets. Punk scenes rise in Los Angeles and San Francisco, raw and aggressive, captured in gritty black and white photographs. California stops pretending to be perfect. It becomes honest. In the late 1970s, another transformation begins, quietly. Photographs of Northern California show modest office parks, engineers in plain clothes, rooms filled with bulky computers. No glamour, no spectacle, just focus. Silicon Valley is born almost unnoticed. Then and now images of these same locations are astonishing. Small buildings become global headquarters. Empty land becomes the center of digital civilization. The future arrives without fanfare. California is reinventing itself again. As the 1970s close, California stands between identities. It is no longer the innocent dream of the 1950s. It is not yet the global digital force it will become. Then and now photographs from this period feel suspended in time. You can sense the pause, the inhale before another transformation. The land remains. The cities wait. The people adapt. By the early 1980s, California no longer looks toward the future with innocence. It looks with experience. Then and now photographs from this era capture acceleration. Cities rise vertically. Suburbs push farther outward. The pace of life increases, and the camera struggles to hold still long enough to fully understand what is happening. Los Angeles transforms again. Downtown, once hollowed out, begins to rebuild. Glass towers replace low-rise buildings. Old warehouses become lofts. The skyline grows sharper, more reflective. In then and now images, the contrast is dramatic. Empty streets become crowded intersections. Forgotten districts become desirable addresses. Yet alongside renewal comes displacement. Photographs of neighborhoods undergoing change show tension, families leaving, new residents arriving, cultures shifting. California's reinvention always carries a cost, and the camera records it without judgment. San Francisco follows a similar path. Victorian houses once neglected are restored, repainted, celebrated. Entire districts rise in value almost overnight. Then and now photos show the same streets, the same architecture, but the people are different. The affordability that once defined creative freedom disappears. The city remains beautiful, but beauty becomes exclusive. Silicon Valley erupts into global relevance. By the 1990s, then and now comparisons become almost unbelievable. Small campuses expand into sprawling headquarters. Parking lots turn into innovation centers. Garages where early computers were built become pilgrimage sites. Photographs from the dot-com era capture optimism bordering on obsession. Young faces stare into screens, believing technology will solve everything. California once again becomes the place where the future is tested. And once again it breaks. The dot-com crash leaves empty offices, abandoned desks, silent campuses. Then and now images reveal recovery, but also repetition. California does not learn to slow down. It learns to restart. California's cultural photographs from the 1980s and 90s show diversity solidifying. Hip-hop rises in Los Angeles. Graffiti becomes language. Street photography captures identity being claimed rather than requested. The beaches remain iconic, but their meaning shifts from freedom to branding. Hollywood changes too. Then and now images of studio lots show consolidation. Independent theaters close. Multiplexes replace single-screen cinemas. Physical film gives way to digital production. The dream factory modernizes, losing some mystery in the process. The camera still records glamour, but now it also records machinery. One of the most emotional sections in any then and now comparison is absence. Classic diners vanish. Neon signs are dismantled. Motels that once welcomed travelers are replaced by chain hotels. Roadside attractions, giant oranges, novelty statues, desert stops fade quietly. Photographs become the only proof these places existed. Drive-in theaters are perhaps the most painful loss. Once symbols of California freedom and youth, their wide screens are replaced by storage facilities, apartment complexes, or empty land. Then and now images of these sites feel like ghosts. As the 2000s progress, California's photographs grow more urgent. Wildfires scar hillsides. Entire neighborhoods vanish in flames. Before and after images are devastating. Lush landscapes reduced to ash, communities erased overnight. Drought reshapes the state. Reservoirs shrink, lake beds crack. Then and now comparisons reveal how quickly abundance disappears. Snowpack diminishes. Rivers retreat. California confronts limits it once ignored. And yet resilience persists. Communities rebuild. Forests slowly return. Beaches remain reshaped but present. Yosemite still towers above visitors even as crowds increase. Nature has not left California. It is negotiating. Modern photographs of California are sharp, high-resolution, immediate. Nothing hides. Everything is documented. And yet something is missing. The slowness. The space. The unrecorded moments. When we place then beside now, nostalgia floods in not because the past was perfect, but because it felt possible. Old photos show room to grow. New photos show pressure. But they also show continuity. The coastline still curves the same way. The mountains still frame the cities. The sunlight still falls in the same familiar patterns. California has changed, but it has not disappeared. Then and now photographs, do not exist to shame the present or glorify the past. They exist to remind us that places are alive. They absorb ambition. They reflect mistakes. They carry memory. California's story is not finished. It never will be. Every generation adds a layer. Every photograph becomes evidence. And one day, today's images will be someone else's nostalgia. California was never just a place. It was a feeling people chased, a promise they believed in, a dream they argued with. In old photographs, California looks quieter, but not smaller. In new photographs, it looks crowded, but still searching. The dream did not vanish. It matured. And when then meets now, we don't just see change. We see time pressing forward, leaving traces behind. These photos do not ask us to return. They ask us to remember. Because nostalgia is not about living in the past. It is about understanding how we arrived here. And California, in every photograph, is still becoming.